You know, I've heard a lot of stories over the years about parents and step-parents trying to control teenagers. But this one caught me off guard. Not because of what happened, but because of what it says about power and punishment. So let me tell you about a 17-year-old boy who loved his hair. This kid had grown his hair since he was young, long, thick black hair that went just past his chest, the kind of hair that takes years of care and patience. He maintained it, he loved it, it was part of who he was. His stepdad never liked it, thought it was girly. Never said anything cruel to the boy's face, but he'd tell the mom he thought the kid should cut it off. That kind of quiet disapproval that sits in a house like humidity. Now, the son had been skipping classes. That's a real problem. Missing school is serious, and it needed to be addressed. No question about that. But here's what happened next. The stepdad and the son got into a huge fight about the skipping, and the stepdad decided that the punishment for missing classes would be to cut the boy's hair. Think about that for a moment. Not grounding, not taking away privileges, not a conversation about why school matters or what's going on that made him want to skip. The punishment was to take something deeply personal from him, something that had nothing to do with the behavior being punished. The mom came home to find her son crying in front of the mirror, cutting his own hair. Imagine that scene. A 17-year-old boy, tears running down his face, scissors in his hand, trying to salvage what's left. He told his mom that his stepdad had randomly cut his hair short in spots. Just cut it. So now he had to cut it really short all over just to even it out and make it look presentable. Years of growth. Gone. The mom went to talk to her husband to find out exactly what happened from his side, and it ended in yelling. Because while she didn't agree with her son skipping classes, she felt that cutting his hair was cruel. That this could have been resolved another way. And she's right. There's a real human need here that's worth examining. When we punish someone, especially a young person, we're supposed to be teaching them something about consequences and responsibility. But what does it teach when the punishment is about taking away their autonomy over their own body? What's the lesson there? This wasn't about education or discipline. This was about control, about finally getting rid of something the stepdad never liked in the first place. So the mom decided to do something to cheer up her son. She bought him this affliction leather jacket he'd been wanting for a while. One of those designer jackets that aren't cheap, and she bought it with her husband's money. When the husband found out, he was furious. But she told him he shouldn't have cut their son's hair, and he could consider this an apology. Because it's going to take years for her son's hair to grow back, but her husband can make that money back quickly. Now, here's where people are going to have strong opinions. Was buying an expensive jacket with his money the right move? Is that fair? Is that petty? But notice what's actually driving this. A mother watched her son come home in tears, cutting his own hair because someone took his autonomy away. She's watching him grieve something that mattered to him. And she's trying to show him that she sees him, that what happened wasn't okay, that he still has people in his corner. Could she have handled it differently? Sure. Could they have had a calmer conversation about appropriate consequences? Absolutely. But this is the moment where everyone's just trying to protect themselves. The son's trying to salvage his appearance. The stepdad's defending his authority. The mom's defending her child. And in that silence between what was said and what wasn't, there's so much being left unsaid. Why was the son skipping classes? What's going on in his life that made school feel impossible some days? Was anyone asking that question, or were they just focused on the behavior? What made the stepdad think that cutting hair was an appropriate punishment? Was this really about discipline, or was it about finally getting his way on something that had bothered him for years? There's something really vulnerable happening underneath all of this. A blended family trying to figure out boundaries, a teenager pushing limits, a step-parent trying to establish authority, a mother caught in the middle trying to protect her child while maintaining her marriage. These are real dynamics that so many families navigate, and when they go wrong, when someone crosses a line, it's hard to walk it back. The hair will grow back. It'll take years, but it will. The money will be earned back. But the trust, that's harder to repair. The feeling of safety in your own home when someone can just decide to alter your body without your consent, that takes real work to rebuild. This is where it gets interesting. Because people will say the mom is enabling her son by buying him an expensive jacket. They'll say she's undermining her husband's authority. They'll say she should have presented a united front. But when one parent does something the other parent believes is genuinely harmful, what does a united front even mean? Is it unity to stand by and watch your child suffer a punishment you believe crossed a line? Or is it unity to protect your child and deal with the marital conflict separately? There's no easy answer here. This is the moment where the pattern's already shifted. The damage is done. Now they're all just reacting, trying to make sense of what happened and what comes next. What I keep coming back to is this. Discipline is supposed to guide someone toward better choices. It's supposed to be connected to the behavior. If you're late for curfew, you lose the privilege of going out. If you skip class, maybe you lose screen time or have to do extra study hours or meet with a counselor to figure out what's going on. But cutting someone's hair? That's not discipline. That's punishment for punishment's sake. That's using your power because you can. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Power in a family isn't about what you can force someone to do. It's about building trust so that when you set a boundary, it's respected because the relationship is strong enough to hold it. This family has some real healing to do. The son needs to get back to school and figure out what's going on that made him want to skip. The stepdad needs to understand why what he did crossed a line and damaged his relationship with his stepson. The mom needs to figure out how to support her son while also addressing the cracks in her marriage. And they all need to learn how to talk to each other. Really talk. Not yell, not defend, not justify. Just listen and try to understand where everyone else is coming from, because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to feel less alone. The son wanted to feel seen and supported. The stepdad wanted to feel respected and heard. The mom wanted to protect her child while keeping her family together. Those are all deeply human needs. They just got expressed in ways that hurt each other instead of building each other up. So is the mom wrong for buying the jacket? I don't think that's actually the question. The question is, what happens now? How does this family move forward? How do they rebuild what was broken in that moment when scissors met hair and trust met betrayal? That's what makes this story so human. We're all doing the best we can with what we have. Sometimes our best isn't good enough. Sometimes we hurt the people we love. Sometimes we react instead of respond. But understanding doesn't fix everything. It just changes how we see it, and maybe that's where healing starts. If you've been through something similar, whether as the parent, the step-parent, or the kid caught in the middle, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. And if this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Because we're all in this messy, complicated, beautiful thing called family together. Title suggestions primary. Stepdad cut my son's hair as punishment, so I bought him a designer jacket with his money, Alt 1. He destroyed my son's hair over skipping class, so I got revenge with his credit card, Alt 2. My husband punished my teen by cutting his hair. I made him pay, literally. Alt 3. Stepdad's cruel punishment backfired when mom grabbed his wallet.